From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, 3 killed, many abducted as terrorists attack Taraba Mosque during Iftar. PDP Reconciliation and Strategy Committee recommends slashing cost of nomination forms. Cheering news for job seekers as President Buhari signs Executive Order 11. And on the foreign scene, former Burkina Faso President Blaise Compaoré sentenced to life for murder of Sankara. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Now the news in full. A group of terrorists on Tuesday attacked a mosque at Babajuli village in Bali local government area of Taraba State while worshippers were breaking their fast, killing 3 persons. The terrorists also abducted many worshippers from inside the mosque and took them to an unknown location. The incident, it was gathered, occurred about 6:25 p.m. Reports say the terrorists, numbering over 50, invaded the village and attacked the Jumat mosque. The worshippers had assembled in the mosque to break their fast when they were attacked by the terrorists. Police spokesperson for Taraba Command, DSP Usman Abdullahi, who confirmed the incident, said he was waiting for more details from the police divisional office in Bali. And the federal government on Wednesday said the terrorists who attacked a military base in Birnungwari area of Kaduna State suffered heavy casualties when they were repelled. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said this while reacting to a question on insecurity after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja. Mohammed, who said the government is not overwhelmed by insecurity across the country, contrary to public perception, stressed that not every success of the military in its war against terrorism was in the media space.
On a military base in Kaduna State, but what was not reported was the very timely and efficient manner it was repelled, and the huge casualties suffered by the bandits terrorists. I think yesterday a particular television station actually reported this. I also have a video of the area interdiction by the military. You see, I keep saying this is an asymmetrical war in which we are not at liberty always to tell you how, in details, how the camps of the bandits and terrorists are being decimated daily. It's a war of attrition. But our military is living up to the billing.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, says the challenge in the war against terrorism is a morale booster for the military to defeat the enemy. The Army Chief, in an operational tour of the 402 Special Task Force Brigade camp in Maiduguri, told troops that it will recognize hard-working soldiers, urging them not to relent in their fight against insurgents. He appreciated President Buhari for his support and assured of providing logistics and equipment to ease their assignments of protecting the country.
The lives have surrendered, and the better for it. If only with peace that development can come. But those who choose to remain in the bushes will give them the special forces treatment, will destroy them, and bring back all those things that they have kept in their enclaves. On our part, we will continue to provide all the necessary requirements for the task ahead and for the task at hand. in tandem with army tradition, we will always appreciate and recognize those who have done well and who have done even specially or specially well will also be more specially recognized. I urge us not to relent. I know we will not, but continue with what we have started, and we'll get there. Challenges that you have sometimes is part of operations. All operations have that. But for us, what it does is to ginger us to do even more and to go directly to do that challenge authority of the Federal Republic.
And still on matters of insecurity, suspected terrorists have attacked Barakallahu community in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. According to some of the residents who spoke to Trust TV, the bandits stormed the community in large numbers around 1 a.m., shooting sporadically. Police Public Relations Officer ASP Jalige Mohammed says the police, after receiving a distress call, moved to the scene, engaged the bandits in a gun battle for more than 2 hours and succeeded in chasing them away from the community with no casualty. The bandits were suspected to be in the community to rustle cows. Meanwhile, the managing director of the Bank of Agriculture, Alwan Ali Hassan, has regained freedom from the terrorists who bombed the Kaduna-Abuja train. Mr. Hassan was among those abducted by the terrorists during the attack. A family source confirmed that the Bank of Agric MD regained his freedom on Wednesday after paying an unspecified amount of money as ransom. And now to politics, where the National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Wednesday in Abuja submitted its report to the National Working Committee of the party. The report has recommendations that could strengthen the party ahead of the next general elections. Trust TV's Shafiq Suleiman reports.
Submitting the report to the national chairman on behalf of the committee, which was set up in November last year to examine and resolve disputes across all levels of the party, Chairman of the committee, Senator Bukola Saraki, says the report contains detail of grievances that were mostly generated from the interface with various stakeholders across the 6 geopolitical zones. As part of strategies to reposition the party, the committee recommends slashing the cost of nomination forms to encourage youth participation, ensure thorough scrutiny of party officials who will be saddled with the responsibility of conducting primary elections across board in order to avoid internal disputes as observed in the past.
We have discovered that the conduct of primaries to elect candidates to represent the party has been a source of great intra-party conflict and friction in the past, resulting in PDP being severely weakened and hampering its chances of success in previous elections. Mr. Chairman, we believe that you and other members of NWC are men and women of great courage and integrity who have displayed a commitment to our party, its ideals and its values. We want to advise that the party leadership should at all times adhere to the principles of equity and justice, good conscientiousness and inclusiveness.
Receiving the report, National Chairman of the PDP, Senator Yachia Ayu, says the party leadership is proactively addressing some of the concerns that put the party on the edge with a view to strengthening it ahead of the next elections.
We'll go through this report meticulously and very soon submit it to NEC, since it's a NEC committee. And we believe that NEC will implement, we have not only approved the report, but will also help us to implement some of the recommendations which are contained in this report.
He takes the opportunity to lash on the government of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, over the deteriorating security situation in the country, describing it as the next level the party promised Nigerians. Shafiq Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And still talking politics, Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Kennedy Ibe, has declared the seat of a member representing Nkwere State Constituency, Obinna Okwara, vacant. Ibe himself, a defector, having made 3 defections since his election to represent Obowa State Constituency in 2019 general elections. The Speaker, re-elected on the platform of the APC, joined the PDP when Emeka Ihedioha was governor and immediately defected to APC when the Supreme Court declared Hope Uzodinma the governor of the state on January 14, 2020. Okwara last week joined the People's Democratic Party, PDP, from the All Progressives Congress. He is among the 6 lawmakers suspended since December by the leadership of the House. Ibe took the decision during a plenary on Wednesday. The Speaker urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct a by-election to fill the vacant seat. In the same vein, the Speaker lifted the suspension of member representing Idiato North State Constituency, Arthur Egwim. He said that the lawmaker had shown enough remorse in an apology letter he wrote to the House. And the Nigerian Senate has considered a bill to establish the National Religious Harmony Commission. The bill, sponsored by Senator Sadiq Suleiman, scaled second reading during plenary this Wednesday. The report.
Leading the debate on the general principles of the bill, Umar said the legislation seeks to establish the National Religious Harmony Commission to serve as an intervention to promote tolerance, peace, and harmony in the country. The lawmaker explained that the UN Charter seeks the promotion and respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms for all without distinction to race, sex, language, or religion. He noted that such principle is equally embedded in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Having realized the sensitive role of religion in national security, peace, and harmony, the federal government wishes to promote interreligious harmony and understanding due to the checkered history of religious intolerance in Nigerian polity. The bill seeks to create an enabling environment for the peaceful coexistence of all adherents of different religious beliefs within the Nigerian nation, and as well provide for a forum for public enlightenment and dialogue on to limit controversy and confrontation over allegations of discriminations based on religious beliefs and identities.
The bill, after consideration, was referred to the Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters for legislative input. The committee has 4 weeks to report back.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the National Religious Harmony Commission and for other matters connected thereto 2022 second reading taken, and the bill is referred to the Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters for further legislative action to report back within 4 weeks.
In a related development, a bill seeking to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act to establish the Federal College of Education, Arochukwu, Abia State, by converting the existing College of Education, Technical, Arochukwu, to a Federal College of Education, also scaled through second reading. The bill was sponsored by Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, representing Abia North. The bill has been referred to the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Tech Fund for further work. The committee is given 4 weeks to report back.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives on Wednesday mandated its committees on telecommunications and banking and currency to look into the cases of telecommunications subscribers who have fallen victims of breach of privacy and identity theft. The committee, which is expected to report back within 4 weeks, is also to identify inadequacies in the relevant regulatory frameworks and proffer solutions. The House's resolution followed the adoption of a motion on the need to protect telephone subscribers from breach of privacy, fraud and loss of money by Representative Olushola Steve Fatoba.
Of the regulatory frameworks in existence, the occurrence of a breach of privacy cases of fraud and consequently financial loss are on the increase. Also concerns that many Nigerians are falling victim to illegal and unauthorized deduction of funds from their bank accounts because their financial institutions keep sending their bank account transaction details into their Itato phone numbers, which have been reassigned to new subscribers, thus opening a dangerous window for fraudulent activities.
And President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the 11th of his administration's executive orders on Wednesday, just before the Federal Executive Council meeting commenced. Executive Order 11 unveils a national public buildings maintenance policy. The President is directing all ministries, departments and agencies of government to set up maintenance departments in line with the provisions of the new executive order. Kehinde Amadou reports.
Executive Order 11 gives legal backing to the country's national maintenance policy, following its early approval by the Federal Executive Council. Government had already, prior to this, started utilizing the policy to give facelifts to some of its buildings, like the Federal Secretariat Abuja and 24 other federal buildings across the country. But the President is giving conditions to ministries, departments and agencies to streamline implementation of the policy.
In order to ensure the fullest implementation and impact of the policy, it is my pleasure to sign this executive order that ties maintenance direct to our economy. By this order, I expect ministries, departments, and agencies to set out and ensure the operation of their maintenance departments and make necessary procurement for their maintenance in accordance with the provision of the Public Procurement Act.
The implementation of the approved national policy on public building maintenance is expected to trigger job creation for skilled and unskilled labor.
Some of the expected benefits of the implementation of the approved national policy on public building maintenance are job creation for skilled and unskilled labor and the expansion of opportunities for micro, small, and medium enterprises who produce and supply all of the tools and materials required to support maintenance.
Some of the President's executive orders in the past have been met with resistance, while at least one of them has been upturned when its constitutionality was challenged. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amadou, Trust TV News.
Trust TV News Hour. Coming up after the break, how rope making changes fortunes of villagers. This and more after the break. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Hour. Now, learn a look at our top stories. Terrorists on Tuesday attacked a mosque in Taraba State while worshippers were breaking their fast, killing 3 persons. And PDP Reconciliation and Strategy Committee recommends slashing costs of nomination forms. And moving on to other stories now, the national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says the incident of Kaduna-Abuja train attack was a disaster for all Nigerians. The APC leader, who was in Kaduna to sympathize with the government and people of the state, said there's need to use all energies to fight terrorism in the country.
What happens to people on the Kaduna to Abuja train on Tuesday last week was a disaster for all of us. It's saddening. Whatever happened to Nigeria happens to all of us. And we have to see it that way. We are facing the current challenges seriously, and we have to do more. Nigeria bleeds on behalf of everybody. We need to fight the terrorism with all aspects of our energy, whatever we have. Once it happens to one, it happens to all.
And some People's Democratic Party PDP stakeholders, led by former Senate President Senator Bukola Saraki, have visited Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. Saraki, while speaking with journalists, said that the visit was to brief Governor Makinde on the plan for a consensus candidate among the presidential aspirants. Saraki disclosed that since the focus of the party was centered on providing a credible and people-oriented government for Nigerians, all aspirants were ready to abide by the position of the party. For his part, Makinde promised to work for the success of the consensus arrangements, assuring that any confusion that arises would be addressed.
Yourself as a party must be ready for government in 2023, and that part includes uniting ourselves and being focused that it is not about our individual interests, it's the interests of Nigeria that matters. We, of course, all have individual interests when to be president, but we decided in meetings that we're ready to subject ourselves to a consensus agreement. That consensus agreement is not just one for one part of the country, or that the North. No, it's a consensus agreement for the PDP as a party.
I promised my elder brothers, that we will work hand in hand, work together to ensure that this consensus arrangement is successful. So I've also said that internally we will ensure that people understand what we're trying to do, and where there's any item of doubt or confusion, we will put a mechanism in place where that will get addressed almost immediately as well.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan was on Wednesday evening involved in an auto crash in Abuja while returning home from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. According to a source close to the former Nigerian leader and current ECOWAS Special Envoy, the accident reportedly claimed the lives of 2 of his aides. He, however, said that Jonathan is fine and stable condition at home. Spokesperson for the Jonathan Foundation, Wealth Dixon, who confirmed the accident, said media aid for the former president is working on a statement about the incident, but he did not state if there was any casualty. The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 has reviewed the country's response to the pandemic in view of the declining number of cases. In a statement, the committee explained the decision followed the reduced risk of importation of new variants as well as the availability of vaccines. It also said the increasing number of people vaccinated in Nigeria and the world at large also informed its decision. Chairman of the committee and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said the social restriction recommendations were revised in line with the 3 established thematic areas of movement, industry and labor, as well as community activities. Meanwhile, the federal government has uncovered 1,500 workers who joined the Federal Civil Service with fake appointment letters. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Eson, made the disclosure in Abuja on Tuesday. She stated that those identified will be removed from the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPPIS. Yemi Eson spoke at the National Policy Dialogue on entrenching transparency in public office recruitment in Nigeria. She said over 1,000 persons were discovered in one ministry, while 500 others were found in other ministries, departments and agencies. A supplier of psychoactive substances to traffickers in Taraba State, Lami Merigima, has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, months after being on their wanted list. A statement by the agency's Director, Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, said the 40-year-old queen of the drug world came under the Anti-Narcotic Agency's searchlight when several traffickers arrested in the state in 2021 and early this year fingered her as their supplier. The manhunt for Lami paid off on Monday, 4th April, when operatives tracked her to a hideout in Iware village in Ardokola local government area of Taraba State.
And what we have under it is Ramadan 225. Remove all the brushes now. Once you remove all the brushes, what you have there is Ramadan 225 milligram, which is called Vectra. Bring more out.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps River State Command has arrested 14 suspects for unlawful dealings in petroleum products. Recovered from the suspects were 4 trucks and wooden boats loaded with suspected illegally refined AGO. The report.
Of the River State Command, Commandant Abu Tamboa, who has reiterated in his assumption of office that the war against illegal bunkering in River State is non-negotiable. Suspects are Chinoso Amowo, 35 years, Babangana Umaru, 40 years, Victor Emema, 49 years, Ifeanyi Chinaka, 42 years, Ndubisi Woji, 41 years, Echefulachi Okoro, 31 years, and others. They were arrested for dealing illegally in petroleum products and transportation of petroleum products without valid licenses, being offenses punishable under the Miscellaneous Offences Act, Law of the Federation 2004. Let me affirm our continuous synergy with relevant sister agency in the fight against oil bunkering, oil theft, and illegal dealings in petroleum products in River State. I'd like to hint the general public and the gentlemen of the press that all these suspects will definitely be charged to court at the expiration of a thorough investigation.
And still on matters of security, a mild skirmish on Tuesday occurred between soldiers of the 32 Artillery Brigade Akure and operatives of the Ondo State Security Network known as Amotekun Corps over the latest seizure of 100 cows in Akure. They reportedly seized the cows for breaching the anti-open grazing law of the state. The Amotekun operatives reportedly held the cows after acting on distress calls from farmers who called from the Okearo area of Akure complaining that the cows had grazed and destroyed their crops. While officers of the Corps were on hand to enforce the law, soldiers from the Artillery Brigade stormed the area to prevent them from taking the cows away. The soldiers reportedly made claims that the cows arrested belonged to their officers in the barracks. And Muslims in Oshogbo, Osun State capital, on Tuesday staged a peaceful protest against attempts by the Railway Property Management Company Limited to reallocating the railway setback that Muslims have been using as Eid prayer ground for more than 20 years to Pastor Bukola Solomon. Speaking on behalf of the Osun Coalition of Muslims for Justice at the Eid prayer ground located at Oke Onitsha area of Oshogbo, Kazim Odedij said Muslims would continue to use the land as Eid prayer ground. Hamid Oyebadi filed in this report.
It's the rumble before the storm. The Muslim community in Oshogbo has been using this land as Eid praying ground since 2015. There has been no breach of contract on the part of the community, which is why it finds it strange that this land is being reallocated.
The Nigeria Railway Corporation granted the Muslim community of Bushra Mosque, number 9, Oriade Anifose Street, Okeoniti area, Oshogbo, a piece of land for their use as Muslim Eid prayer ground, with only a condition that no permanent structure is built on it. Since then, the Muslim community has continued the use of the land for the purpose for which it was granted, and abiding with the condition attached there.
This rather awkward situation could lead to tensions between the Muslim and Christian communities.
We agree with us that this is high level of insensitivity and an action capable of causing religious unrest. We want to, on behalf of the entire Muslim Ummah in Osun State, warn that Muslims will not fold their arms when a piece of land meant for the use of Eid prayer ground is being converted for other use. We therefore want to call on all stakeholders and lovers of peace to call Mr. Innocent Agbaji and his friend Pastor Bukola Solomon to order.
Luckily, this situation may not deteriorate beyond this gathering storm. Probably realizing how delicate the situation was, the official of the Nigerian Railway Corporation in question explained that he had reversed the reallocation.
And as reported earlier, the managing director of the Bank of Agriculture has been released by bandits that attacked the Abuja-Kaduna train. The group has actually released a video of his release. Let's take a look.
Rasulullah, amma ba'd. Mu da ne zaman da muka kama wayannan mutanen nan a jirgin kasa kun ba ga sanan da kun gansu wannan da cikin iko Allah da neman alfarma da yayi tayi da yanayin ganin tsofarsa da yayi shine muka tausaya masa yanzu da yanayin wata na Ramadan muka fitar da shi zamu mika wa ƴan uwarsa amma wannan gwamnati kusan abin da kuke kai wannan ba komai bane mun dai tausaya masa ne mun mika masa gashi nan dai in yana da wani ƙarin bayanin da zai muku sai ya muku kuji daga bakinsa wannan dai shine insha Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ina so na shaida muku cewa an tausaya min saboda girma na da tsohuwana da nake da shi aka ce in fita. Amma ina so shaida muku cewa na ba al'umma a baya da dama kuma suna cikin yanayin da suna buƙatar taimako da ɗaukaka na a fito da su da wuri. Ina fata gwamnati za ta samu shugabannin wannan ƙungiya ta magana da su don a samu fito da su da wuri. Assalamu alaikum.
And moving on to other stories now. Local rope from raffia plant is a business of people, mostly rural dwellers in northern Nigeria. Locals, mostly from communities in Katsina, make ropes from these tropical plants called raffia to complement their means of livelihood, especially during the dry season. Trust TV visits Mashi Market in Katsina State to see how the business of rope making thrives and how it turns around the economic lives of those engaged in it. Abdullahi Yamudi reports.
Mashi Market is located some 30 kilometers east of the ancient city of Katsina on Daura Road. These people buy ropes from the locals and transport them to the southern part of Nigeria, where they are used to tie kola nuts and sugarcane. We take these ropes to faraway Lagos, Shagamu, some parts of Bauchi, and of course some parts of Adamawa State for sale. They used to tie sugarcane and other, so they use it for so many purposes. Out of this rope business, we get what we eat, we put our body and souls together, and we make some benefits out of it. Besides buying food, we take care of our families, and so on and so forth. Local ropes are also to make fences, sheds in local markets, and other domestic purposes. The business also helps the locals economically as it complements their livelihood. I can tell you, we used to get what we want from this business. When we come to the market, we sell this raffia plant. Sometimes we bring the ropes, then we sell them. We get what we buy grains from the sales we made. Modernization has also crept into this local trade, as many have devised the use of rugs, barks of trees, and other fibers in rope making. However, in spite of all this, the rope making from raffia plant continues to thrive and give people the much needed comfort. Another thing that has a similar economic value made from raffia plant is a hand-woven mat and hat. These products are also diminishing as they are being replaced by rubber mats. Stakeholders in the business are calling for government intervention to revive the sector and save it from extinction. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And a northern group has called on the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele to contest for the presidential elections of 2023. The Unified Northern Nigeria Youth Forum, at a press briefing in Maiduguri, described the CBN Governor as most suitable and competent. The Director General of the group, Ibrahim Bature, revealed that the CBN Governor's track record and the revolution in the agricultural sector and economy, as well as empowerment programs which both women and youth have benefited, indicates that Godwin Emefiele is the right man for the job.
And let me also make it clear that no corrupt or somebody with dubious attitude will be given civil government in any part of the world. Even if that country is a country of play, in any serious country will never give a treasury to somebody with dubious character. From the media we are reading, it usually shows he's not interested, but in this hall, I made the call that the call to serve is above his own personal interest. We are talking about national interest, which supersedes personal interest. So we are begging Emefiele to keep his personal interest and consider national interest first.
That any political party that refuses intentionally to zone its ticket to South-South, that political party doesn't to the South, that political party lacks the interest of Nigeria, lacks the unity of Nigeria, and therefore ceases to be a national party, but a regional political party.
Meanwhile, the Kwara State government, with the support of the World Bank, has commenced an environmental project aimed at halting and remedying devastating effects of global warming, environmental degradation, and related health challenges in the state. Speaking during formal inauguration of both the State Steering and Technical Committees of Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes in Ilorin, the State Commissioner for Environment, Abosede Braimo, said that the state government had paid 500 million naira counterpart fund for the project implementation. The report.
The commissioner, who described the agro-climatic resilience in semi-arid landscapes as a multi-sectoral project involving ministries of environment, agriculture and water resources, added that other sectors like finance and planning would provide the project with required support staff too. Mrs. Buraimo said apart from the payment of 500 million naira counterpart fund, the state government had also approved and released about 5 million naira for the rehabilitation and minimal equipping of the Project Coordination Office in the State Ministry of Environment. She said the project would be implemented through conscious build-up of agricultural and climatic resilience of the environment in a strategic and sustainable manner.
With the Constitution approval and inauguration holding today,
The administration of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kwara State, Malam Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, has complied substantially with the state's effective readiness for the project's immediate takeoff. So it is worth mentioning that this milestone is in addition to other fulfillments such as the 500 million naira counterpart fund, approval and release of about 5 million naira for the rehabilitation and minimal equipping of the project coordination office housed in the State Ministry of Environment.
Inaugurating the committees, the State Deputy Governor, Kayode Alabi, said the inauguration of the two committees was part of the state's demonstration of readiness to effectively kickstart the project in the state.
There is no gainsaying that His Excellency Madam Abdurrahman Abdulrazak-led administration has demonstrated desire to sustainably develop the states through meaningful collaboration with sub-national, national and international institutions to improve the states across board. It is indeed a manifestation of His Excellency's love, concern and yearnings for a better Kwara.
You're still watching Trust TV News Hour. The news continues after this break. Do stay with us.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Hour. Muslim faithful have been admonished to exhibit good behavior and study the Holy Quran during the holy month of Ramadan. The Chief Imam of Salahuddin Mosque, Gusau, Sheikh Aminu Gusau, gave the admonition while speaking on the significance of the holy month of Ramadan in the life of the Muslim community. The report.
The Chief Imam of Salahuddin Jumaat Mosque, Gusau, Sheikh Aminu Gusau, explained that the holy month of Ramadan is important to the Muslim community because it was the month which Allah sent an angel to Prophet Muhammad to command him to call out the religion of Islam. For this reason, Muslims are expected to show gratitude to Allah by demonstrating good qualities as they observe the holy month of Ramadan as commanded by Allah. He enjoined the Muslim faithful to be their brother's keeper during the holy month of Ramadan and beyond, by helping the internally displaced persons and the poor to enable them to observe the Ramadan fast with ease.
The month of Ramadan, as a month of fasting, is a month whereby Muslims are expected to behave properly, according to the teachings of Islam, to be of good character, to be very pious, to also assist each other throughout the month, to be of assistance to everybody.
Some Muslim faithful speak on what they had planned to do during and after this holy month of Ramadan.
Muslims always welcome this month because it will help them improve
there's a relationship with not only human beings but also with animals. And even it wasn't very close to his so we are very, very, as a Muslim, I'm very, very happy to see that the month has once again returned. And the only preparation we will make is to strengthen our faith with God.
Sheikh Gusau appealed to the well-to-do and public-spirited individuals to use the opportunity of the Ramadan fast to look into the plight of the less privileged persons in the society.
Now, generally, the prices of commodities within the country have been on a constant rise. And this has drastically reduced the purchasing power of the Naira, as many can barely afford the basic necessities of life. And with the coming of the Islamic fasting season of Ramadan, many are worried that prices of commodities may rise even higher. Chamun Dabeng was on the streets of Abuja and now reports.
Wuse Market, Abuja. And today we're going to be speaking to buyers to find out if there have been any changes in the prices, especially now that Ramadan has begun.
Everything is high. Tomato, I think we used to buy tomato before, it's not the basket, this small basket, we used to buy it before, it's not 800 naira. So now we bought it 2.5. It's 2.5, we are buying it now. Everything, I don't know what happened, but even rice, beans, this catfish that we used to buy is 800, now it's 1.5. So don't know.
Government has to regulate everything, but I don't know what is happening. Everything in this market, you come up with 100,000 naira, you won't be able to see what you bought with. I'm just bleeding from my heart, honestly speaking. I'm not happy.
For now, I came for this yam. The same yam that he sold for me the last time I was here, 4,000, I think 4,004. So he's calling it 7,000. And I think it's before this Ramadan, because things have been skyrocketing right from this fuel scarcity and the problems around. It's not just now. So I'm thinking it's just getting worse now because of the Ramadan.
I actually came to the market today because I've been sending somebody to the market and they've been giving me like ridiculous prices. So today I'm like, okay, let me come and see what the prices are all about. But as you can see, I'm finding it difficult to actually believe what I'm buying. This plantain guy is on my neck because that plantain would usually be like 700, but now it's like 1,005, which is like really high, and it's just the prices are just ridiculous.
I just bought chicken. The last time I bought chicken was like 2.5. Right now, I just bought one local chicken for 3,500 naira. No. I'm not. I don't think so. I mean, there's been a hike. I mean, since not before the Ramadan started, so I'm not sure it's because of the Ramadan. Yeah.
The prices of commodities in the market have continued to show a steady hike with absolutely no sign of slowing down, making the Ramadan buying extra difficult and many Nigerians expressing their displeasure in the less than kind market prices. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now a look at the foreign scene, where Burkina Faso's former president Blaise Compaoré has received a life sentence in absentia for his role in the assassination of his revolutionary predecessor Thomas Sankara. Sankara, 37, was gunned down along with 12 others during the 1987 coup d'etat that brought Compaoré to power. The pair had been close friends and had jointly seized power in 1983. Sankara remains a hero for many across Africa because of his anti-imperialist stance and austere lifestyle. 13 others were also found guilty, including Compaoré's security chief, Hyacinth Kafando, who was accused of leading the hit squad that killed Sankara. Welcome back to Trust TV News Hour. Now a quick look at sports, where the Executive Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation has mandated one of its federation subcommittees to, within the next 5 days, recommend a new coaching crew for the Super Eagles. The mandate is one of the decisions the committee took at its first formal meeting since Nigeria's failure to qualify for the 2022 FIFA World Cup, billed for Qatar later this year. The meeting, held on Tuesday in Abuja and attended both physically and virtually by 14 members, asked the Technical and Development Subcommittee to make the recommendations. Aside from the expected recommendations on the Super Eagles coaching crew, the subcommittee is also to recommend new coaching crews for the 3 other national teams within the same period of 5 days. And that wraps up Trust TV News Hour for tonight. Don't forget, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and also follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.